Once upon a time, HS2 was heralded as the futuristic savior of Britain's weary railways. Originally unveiled in 2010, this high-speed train promised to whisk travelers from London to the north in record time. With a starting budget of £31 billion, it sounded like a steep but worthy investment. Fast forward to today, and that budget has exploded to a jaw-dropping £106 billion and counting. The train isn't even running yet. What HS2 was supposed to be. HS2 wasn't just a train line, it was Britain's grand idea to connect London, Birmingham, Manchester, and Leeds at speeds of up to 360 kilometers per hour. The vision was glittering, slashed travel times, unclogged the jam-packed West Coast main line, and turbocharged regional economies that often played second fiddle to London. It was pitched as the ultimate answer to economic imbalance, a green, fast, and modern railway to bring prosperity to all. Easy peasy, right? If only. In theory, HS2 was the golden ticket to a better connected, greener future. In practice, it turned into the biggest budgeting headache since someone tried to build a Lego mansion. What could possibly go wrong with a few billion pounds and endless ambition? Well, everything, as it turns out. Construction chaos. When the real trouble started, ground was ceremoniously broken in 2017, starting with demolition around Euston Station, HS2's future London hub. Early tasks included buying land and compensating displaced families and businesses. Sounds simple, until it wasn't. These small costs snowballed before a single rail was laid. Elsewhere, major structures like the 3.4-kilometer Colne Valley Viaduct, destined to be Britain's longest railway bridge, were launched with big fanfare. Meanwhile, under the earth, tunnel-boring behemoths Florence and Cecilia got to work digging through the Chiltern Hills. Progress was slow, challenges were constant, and the original timeline started slipping like butter on a hot crumpet. From battling unpredictable ground conditions to navigating labyrinths of red tape, every step forward seemed to come with 2 steps back. Engineers were optimistic. Reality, however, had other plans. The dream of speeding ahead turned into a slow, grumbling crawl through logistical quicksand. The domino effect. By 2021, it was painfully clear that HS2 was going off the rails. Costs doubled, deadlines kept slipping like politicians dodging tough interviews. Euston Station's projected completion moved from 2026 to a tentative sometime around 2035. To add insult to injury, Old Oak Common, initially a secondary station, had to step up as London's temporary HS2 terminus. Passengers will now have the delightful task of hopping onto the Elizabeth line to finish their journey into central London. As delays mounted, faith in the project's vision dwindled faster than tea at a British office meeting. Budgets spiraled out of control, timelines became vague works of fiction, and the once glorious project started resembling a sitcom no one found funny. With every new announcement, the public's excitement turned into collective eye-rolling. If patience were a currency, HS2 would have minted a nation of millionaires by now. Death by 1,000 cuts. Manchester, we have a problem. Perhaps the cruelest blow came in October 2023. The government officially axed Phase 2, the vital extension from Birmingham to Manchester. Without this northern connection, HS2's entire purpose of bridging north and south seemed as shaky as a pub stool with one short leg. Critics argue, is it really worth spending over £100 billion for a London to Birmingham line that could have been built for a fraction of the price? It's a tough sell, like trying to convince Brits that Marmite tastes good. With Manchester out of the picture, the project's economic arguments started evaporating faster than rain on a hot pavement. Business leaders, city councils, and pretty much everyone north of Birmingham were left fuming. What was once a symbol of national unity now risks becoming an expensive way to skip a 90-minute drive. A perfect storm of problems. HS2's downfall isn't pinned to one villain. It's a tragic mashup: rampant inflation, supply chain meltdowns, labor shortages, and good old-fashioned bad planning. Add political flip-flopping and government bureaucracy slower than molasses in January, and you get the perfect recipe for disaster. Successive governments kept changing their minds, forcing costly redesigns and causing endless uncertainty. Even projects that started relatively on time soon faced monstrous hurdles. At this point, HS2 is less high speed and more high anxiety. Throw in unforeseen engineering nightmares, ballooning material costs, and a healthy dose of public skepticism, and HS2 started feeling less like a national pride project and more like a very expensive running joke. The original dream became stuck in a maze of paperwork and political U-turns. By now, even the tunnel boring machines probably needed therapy. The environmental costs nobody wanted to talk about. HS2 didn't just bust budgets, it also bulldozed through some of Britain's most treasured natural landscapes. Ancient woodlands, rare wildlife habitats, and picturesque wetlands weren't safe from the mighty machines. In areas like the Chiltern Hills, centuries-old forests met an untimely end. Although the government promised eco-friendly offsets like tree planting and wildlife corridors, conservationists argue the damage is irreversible. Protesters camped in trees, dug secret tunnels, and fought bitter legal battles, but the bulldozers marched on. In the end, many wonder if HS2 will ever balance out the environmental destruction it's already caused. More than 100 ancient woodlands have been damaged or lost forever, leaving behind patchy promises of replanting. Sadly, you can't just replace a 1,000-year-old oak with a few saplings and call it even. For many, HS2's environmental solutions sound about as reassuring as fixing a leaky roof with sticky tape. When good intentions meet bad execution. There's a tragic irony in HS2. It was supposed to help Britain go green by shifting travel away from cars and planes. In reality, the construction phase has already spewed a colossal amount of carbon into the atmosphere. And with fewer cities now connected than originally planned, many experts doubt whether the project will ever deliver its promised climate benefits. In other words, HS2 was meant to be an environmental knight in shining armor, but is fast becoming an eco-saboteur in a very expensive tuxedo. The longer construction drags on, the more carbon gets pumped out, ironically undermining the very problem HS2 claimed to fix. It's like throwing a birthday party to celebrate eating healthy, only to serve everyone triple chocolate cake. In short, good idea, terrible execution, and even worse PR. Is there still hope for HS2? Despite the doom and gloom, HS2 isn't completely dead, just very, very wounded. The London to Birmingham section is steadily taking shape, with around 75% of tunnels now completed and work progressing on viaducts, bridges, embankments, and cuttings. The government has grudgingly promised to fund the crucial tunnel linking Old Oak Common to Euston. However, Euston Station itself remains stuck in financial limbo, like a commuter perpetually waiting for a delayed train that may never arrive. Meanwhile, thousands of workers and hundreds of businesses are still employed in the HS2 supply chain. Abandoning the project altogether now could waste the billions already spent. It's a tricky choice. Continue pouring money in, or accept a spectacular failure. Some optimists still believe that with careful leadership and tighter budgets, HS2 can claw back a bit of its original promise. Others think it's time to cut losses before it becomes the most expensive white elephant in railway history. Either way, the next few years will determine whether HS2 finally leaves the station or gets permanently parked in the scrapyard of grand ideas gone wrong. Lessons for the future, if we choose to learn them. HS2 stands as a monument to ambition unchecked by realism. Britain's history of mega projects reads like a tragic comedy, dazzling plans, unrealistic budgets, ignored warnings, and eventual calamity. Just ask the folks still trying to finish Hinkley Point C nuclear plant another gold-plated fiasco. HS2 teaches a simple, painful lesson. Dreaming big is easy, delivering is hard, and honesty about costs and timelines is absolutely vital. Perhaps next time, the UK can plan with its feet on the ground before trying to put its trains in the sky. A little less political showboating and a little more engineering pragmatism could save billions. After all, optimism doesn't lay tracks or dig tunnels hard cash and harder realities do. Until then, Britain's mega projects might continue being less grand success and more cautionary tale with very expensive lessons. And that's the crazy ride of HS2, Britain's most expensive train wreck. If you enjoyed this deep dive into mega project madness, smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping stories and colossal projects gone wrong. Thanks for watching. See you on the next journey.